This is the academic vault, followed from an empty library all the way to a finished analysis. We will set up the models, bring in a Zotero collection, read it properly, and then explore what that reading produces. Before anything else, the models. Nothing works well until these are right, so this is where a new vault should start. First, a provider. OpenRouter gives access to models from many companies with a single key. The key is pasted into a masked field and stored encrypted on this computer. It is never showed again, not even to you. With the key saved, Nodus loads the provider catalog. Now the embedding model, which builds the semantic index everything else, depends on. The recommendation is BGEM3. It handles long passages and works across languages, which matters when your sources are not all in one. Marking it as a favorite keeps it at the top of every selector from now on. For the reading itself, we add a second provider, Google Gemini. Same again, a masked field, an encrypted key, and the catalog loads. Gemini 3.1 Flashlight is the model to pick here, fast, inexpensive, and not a reasoning model, which is exactly what extraction needs. Now we switch to advanced configuration, because these two models do different jobs and should not be interchangeable. The embedding slot takes BGEM3 from OpenRouter. Every other task takes Gemini Flashlight. That is the whole setup. One model to index, one model to read. The library is empty. Everything from here on comes from Zotero. Nodus reads the Zotero library that is already on your machine and asks which collections to watch. You do not hand over your whole library, only what you choose. Here we take a single collection of 15 articles on the American West. Syncing brings in the metadata, titles, authors, years, and the attached PDFs. 15 works, none of them read yet. For this walkthrough, we take 5 of them, a tight group on the Overland Trail, and run a full scan. That is where Nodus actually reads. It works through each PDF in chunks, pulling out themes, ideas, the evidence behind them, and the relationships between them. The queue shows exactly where it is. This takes real time and real API calls, so what you are watching here is sped up. 5 articles, read and indexed, with their ideas and the links between them. And this is what that reading produced. Every node is an idea taken from one of those articles, and every link a relationship Nodus found between them. Each of those ideas is also listed on its own, with its type, the article it came from, and the passage that supports it. Search now works by meaning, not just by words, because the embedding model indexed every passage. Authors gathers what each writer argues across the corpus, so you can see a scholar's position rather than a single article. The argument map lays out claims, and the support or opposition between them. Debates collects the points where your sources genuinely disagree, often the most useful thing a corpus can tell you. The hypothesis lab lets you state a claim and test it against the evidence you actually have. Coverage answers a blunter question. Does this corpus support the question you are asking, and where has it been? Gabs points at what is missing, the connections your sources imply, but never make. The reading path proposes an order to read in, built from how the ideas depend on each other. Immersion turns the corpus into something you can browse and listen to, rather than work through. Deep research is the most ambitious of them. It plans a report, writes it from your sources, and cites them as it goes. You give it a question, and it works through the corpus, section by section. It can illustrate the result too, using the image model from the same Google key. What comes out is a cited draft, with every claim traceable back to the article it came from. From there, the writing workshop and projects are where you turn all of this into your own text, with the corpus alongside you. That is the whole arc. 2 models, 1 collection, 1 scan, and a corpus you can question, instead of just store. Start with a small collection you already know well. It is the fastest way to see whether Nodus is reading it the way you would.